Well, this is really exciting. This little girl here, this is a Mojave desert tortoise, and they are quite difficult to find out here. They live in really arid conditions, and so I'm really excited that we have already found one at the start of the day. Welcome to the Mojave Desert. So this desert tortoise was actually found right next to its burrow. So if we come over here, they dig these burrows into the ground, and they can use that for shelter. They can use it for heat regulation, and of course they brumate under there as well. Tortoises are pretty cool. They have a lot of adaptations to live out in this sort of arid conditions. Obviously those front legs up there are very flat and allow them to dig in the soft sand here. They also don't need to have a lot of liquid water. They can go for years without seeing water, without it really raining out here. And so they get most of the moisture they need to live from green plants like this. These species are protected in California, so we can't touch them or interact with them too much. But really neat to see, and she's just kind of hiding themselves. One thing that they do if they do feel threatened is they'll pee, and that can be very dangerous for the tortoise because obviously they lose a lot of moisture, which is very difficult to get out here in the desert. So you can see this is the environment that these tortoises live in. It is pretty arid, and there's not a lot of shade, there's not a lot of water, but they can still manage to be here just fine. And part of that is by having a very slow lifestyle. And like I mentioned before, they're able to go for years without liquid water. They get it all from the food they eat, but they just have a slow metabolism, and they can go underground and brumate if they need to sort of wait out periods of harsh environmental factors, but they can do it. Oh, and you know what? I just saw a lizard scamper away. I'm going to see if I can get a quick look. But before I do, the biggest threat to the tortoises, I want to let you know, is actually the ravens. The common ravens will eat baby tortoises. They'll eat tortoise eggs, and so it's interesting that that's their biggest predator out here. Not any of the land mammals like the foxes or stuff. It's the ravens. But I'm gonna see if I can get a look at this lizard, and if not, well, you'll just see the next thing we find. We just stumbled upon a gopher snake, and you can see the middle of his belly is really thick, because this snake probably had a meal very recently, and so just using the warmth to help digest it. Maybe found one of those mice we see running around on occasion, or maybe a lizard.
Super small and fat, whatever he ate.
Yeah. Well, this is exciting. We just walked up upon another tortoise here. Let's go take a look. All right, this is cool. Tortoise number 2 for the day. Just chilling here, and it was eating a little bit. Let's see what else there is. All right, this is great. You can see we got a third tortoise right there. And this one is still got its head out, which is nice. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer before he tucks away. And the cool thing is here, if I zoom out a little bit, so that female tortoise is right there, and this other tortoise, I don't know the gender yet, is right here. So these two are hanging out together. Let's get in a little closer. Oh, nice. You can see that protrusion at the front, that little horn. All the tortoise have it, but this one is a little bit more pronounced, which is why we think that this one is a male. So I don't know if this is like, husband and wife territory over here with the female so close by, or if they're just coincidentally in the same area. So it's been about 30 minutes since we visited this turtle, and I just came back to get my GoPro because I did some filming, but she has moved into her little burrow, and it's gotten a bit warmer, so she might be going inside there just to cool down a little bit, just to heat regulate. So but that's neat. I mean, one of the best ways to find a tortoise is to find its burrow, and they're usually not too far away. This is a leopard lizard. check that out. You can see the spots all around it. That's where they get its name. One of the really cool things about leopard lizards is that the females will change colors when they're ovulating, right up until when they lay their eggs, and they'll get these nice reddish orange patches on them. But this one is either male or it's a female that's not ovulating yet. So, but they are fast lizards to see. And I do not come across them really often. Nice. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch them because they are fast. Oh, and by the way, this is the long-nosed leopard lizard. There are 3 species out in California, although Cope's only barely gets into California. The blunt-nosed leopard lizard is the one that's that we may find in the western portion of the state. But this is the main one, the long nose, that's in most of the area out here in the Mojave and in our neighboring states as well. So here's another burrow. Nobody's in this one, but these burrows are incredibly useful out here in the desert. Obviously, the tortoises use them for shelter, but so do other animals. And I read a study where actually there's a number of different bird species that will use tortoise burrows. So what they'll do is they'll jump inside to gather nesting material, or they'll use the softer soils here for dust baths, which are good for getting mites off them and things like that. But there's a variety of different species that use these burrows. And the tortoises, you know, they're a really important species for all of the wildlife that's out here. So it's really nice to see that there's such a healthy population here. Well, this is quite a delight. Here we go. Desert tortoise number 4. Just like that. This one is hanging out in the shade. And luckily he's got his head out for us. These tortoises out here are part of a study site, and so they're pretty used to being around people. They don't get freaked out that much, so it's nice to see that this one's pretty comfortable with us having hiked pretty close to where it was hanging out. So very cool to see. Oh, now he's like thinking about tucking his head in, but he's all chill now. All right. This is hard to see because it's in the shade, but we have a western whiptail here. It's letting us get pretty close. These lizards are really fast. I've never held one in hand before, even though they are very common in California. I don't really flip them from under things. I think they mostly use burrows and stuff, but and there he goes. Sometimes we find live ones, but here we found a shell. And unlike crustaceans, they don't shed these. This is part of their bones. So interesting.
You can get to see the bone structure here, the skin and stuff.
Yeah, if you look inside. So, but another good sign that this is a healthy population of tortoises.
Even if not for that one.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Look at that. Just flipped up this Sidewinder right under this log here. He's coiled up all nice, and you can hear him rattling just a little bit.
Oh man, that is big. Just real quick, let me just get a cell phone shot of you. Almost like a grab it almost. Look at that. Yeah,
so Zeev just flipped up this little gecko. This is an adult. We've mostly been finding juveniles in the last few videos, so it's nice to see an adult, and you can see that their heads are much more spotted. They have a lot more pattern on them, so neat to find this little guy. And he was under that sort of that little piece of tarp there or something, but cool gecko. Really beautiful one too. And I best show you the tail because those colors are just, the contrast is just really, really neat. And you know, we've learned that we can tell the gender from this, and this one does not have those spurs that stick out from the tail. So this is probably a female. Well, we had a really good morning. All those tortoises were great. A couple of snakes. We really couldn't have asked for anything better. It got pretty weak in the afternoon. We really did not find much. But luckily, you don't have to see all those bits. Please remember, do like and subscribe this video. I'm Greg Schechter. This is Schechter Natural History, and I'll see you in the field. Check it out, a bobcat. You don't see these too often, so it's pretty cool. Although he is hidden now. There he goes. Another cool find of the day.
Oh yeah, right.